Chosen one. Heaven has pressed pause on everything around you so that these words can reach you. You are not here by accident. You are here because a voice greater than your own has whispered, and it is time for you to listen. Every distraction, every scroll, every noise fades away. And in this moment, God Himself leans near. Your life is not random. You were marked, set apart, carved from eternity into time. And now the call rings louder than ever before. You have felt it, that strange stirring inside, that deep sense that you were never meant to blend in. You walk into a room, and even if no one says it, you can feel eyes turn. Sometimes they misunderstand you. Sometimes they even resist you. But you know the truth. Light unsettles darkness, and the presence of God within you will never let you fit the molds of men. This is why you were called. This is why you are here. Listen carefully. Heaven is delivering a breaking announcement into your spirit. The world will tell you to stay quiet, to remain small, to accept things as they are. But God says, break out. The gift you carry is too powerful to remain buried. The enemy has tried to convince you that your pain is proof you were forgotten. But in reality, it is proof you were chosen. Every battle was evidence that something in you terrified the kingdom of darkness. There is a crown already engraved with your name. The adversary tried to keep you blind so you would not see it. He tried to weigh you down with shame, fear, and regret so that you would not rise to claim it. But hear this. God's chosen one, this moment is holy ground. What once chained you will now serve as proof of your freedom. What once silenced you will now become the sound of your testimony. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay. This is why you feel different. This is why the road has been lonely. This is why doors that opened easily for others seemed closed to you. It was never punishment. It was protection. You are not meant for common things, for ordinary patterns. You are marked for higher places, chosen to carry what others cannot bear. Chosen one. This is your divine interruption. Stop waiting for permission from people who never saw your worth. Stop postponing your rising because of the opinions of the crowd. The Spirit of God Himself declares, rise now. Break the silence. Step into the place prepared for you. And yes, you must make a choice. Heaven does not drag you forward. Heaven invites you forward. The crown is offered, but you must reach for it. The anointing is poured, but you must say yes to it. Destiny is waiting, but it requires your obedience. You already know deep inside, delay is no longer an option. If you are hearing these words, it is because you are alive in this exact moment for a purpose bigger than yourself. Do not think small. Do not shrink back. Lift your head and step boldly. You are the one called to carry fire into places of ashes, to bring hope into places of despair, to speak truth where lies have ruled too long. This is your mantle. This is your moment. And nothing can take it from you if you hold fast to your faith. Beloved, chosen one, I want you to pause and breathe this in. You are not who you used to be. You are not defined by the mistakes of your past. You are not chained to the fears that once held you. You are becoming the evidence of God's power in the earth. You are the living proof that He rescues, redeems, and restores. And now, let me speak clearly. Do not leave this moment without taking action. If these words resonate in your spirit, if you know this is for you, then like, share, and subscribe right now. Let the flow of this anointing continue to meet you where you are. This is not just about you, it is about every life connected to your obedience. And as a prophetic act of faith, type the number 777 inches, the comments below. That is the number of completion, the number that declares you are stepping into the fullness of your calling. When you write it, you are not just pressing keys, you are making a declaration to heaven and a rebuke to the enemy. I receive my crown. I step into my destiny. I walk in my calling. Beloved chosen one. Heaven has spoken. The surprise is not something outside of you. It is the realization of who you already are. Walk in it now. Chosen one. Even before you could form words. Even before you understood the meaning of pain or joy, you were already marked. This is the truth your soul has always sensed, but could never fully explain. Others may have seen your differences as flaws, but heaven wrote those very differences into your design as proof of your calling. You have never fit the mold because you were never meant to. From your earliest days, there has been a pull on your spirit, a weight that felt too heavy for your age, too mysterious for your understanding. You asked why you felt so much, why rejection seemed to follow you, why those you trusted sometimes became the very ones to wound you. The answer is not punishment, it is election. The seal of heaven rested on you before your first breath, and the evidence of that seal is the resistance you faced. Beloved, every setback, every misunderstanding, every season where you felt forgotten was not random. It was shaping. The world could not afford for you to rise too early, for your light to shine before its appointed time. That is why God allowed delays, not to deny you, but to prepare you. You were not being kept back. You were being protected until the moment of unveiling. You have asked yourself, why me? Why the loneliness? Why the betrayals? Why the doors that refuse to open? Let heaven answer plainly, because you are chosen. To be chosen is to walk a path different from others. To be chosen is to endure pressures that others may never understand. To be chosen is to carry mysteries that even you cannot always explain. Listen carefully. There is a thread that runs through your life, weaving moments together, showing that none of it was coincidence. The rejection pushed you toward God. The heartbreak birthed compassion in you. The silence taught you to hear His whisper, and the weight of responsibility taught you discipline when others were distracted. All of it was training for the mantle you now carry. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5. Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. These are not just words written long ago, they are a mirror reflecting your very life. Before time itself wrapped you in flesh, God already knew your name. He already wrote your mission. He already appointed your steps. You were not placed here at random. You are here by divine assignment. When others looked at you and did not understand, when you felt the sting of isolation, heaven saw something different. Heaven saw a chosen one, trained in secret, growing roots before showing fruit. Heaven knew that to reveal you too soon would expose you to battles you were not ready to face. So God hid you like a precious treasure until the appointed time. And now you can see You survived what others did not. You endured storms that should have destroyed you. You carried burdens that would have crushed weaker shoulders, not because you were stronger in yourself, but because heaven's hand was holding you all along. The enemy saw the mark on you, and he launched attack after attack, hoping to break you before you bloomed. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still marked. Do you understand what this means? It means your survival is evidence of your calling. Every scar is proof of your endurance. Every tear is a testimony that cannot be silenced. You are not the sum of your wounds. You are the living prophecy that God's chosen cannot be destroyed. Beloved, the time has come to stop questioning your worth. Stop comparing your path to others who were not chosen for the same mantle. Your uniqueness is not a curse, it is the clearest evidence of your election. The way your spirit feels heavy with things unspoken, the way your heart senses things before they happen, the way your presence disrupts atmospheres, that is not accident. That is destiny manifesting through you. There are those who may never understand why you carry such weight, and that is okay. You were not called to be understood by everyone. You were called to be obedient to the one who marked you. Even if the world rejects, heaven approves. Even if people walk away, the crown remains. Chosen one, lean into this truth. You have been known, set apart, and appointed since before your birth. What others dismissed in you was sacred. What others mocked in you was holy. What others tried to bury in you is about to be revealed. This is your moment of recognition, not from people, but from heaven itself. Hold fast to the mark you carry. It is not a burden, it is your badge of honor. It is not rejection, it is selection. You are not abandoned, you are appointed. Every step until now has been leading you here, to the revelation that you were never ordinary. You were always chosen, chosen one. You have fought wars others never saw, nights when silence screamed louder than words, mornings when you rose carrying invisible weights, days when your smile was a mask covering storms inside your soul. Yet through all of it, you did not collapse. You may have bent, but you never broke. And the reason is clear. Heaven has always been holding you. There is a mystery the world does not understand. Those who are marked often walk roads laced with fire. You are not unfamiliar with rejection, betrayal, or the sting of being overlooked. But the truth is this: if you were ordinary, darkness would have left you alone. The pressure you feel, the attacks you endured, the strange resistance you constantly meet, these are not signs of abandonment. They are evidence of destiny. The enemy recognized your potential long before you did. That is why he struck so fiercely, so early. He hoped to convince you that you were weak, unwanted, unnecessary. But every lie spoken against you has become fuel for your rising. Every time someone tried to push you down, they only pressed you deeper into the arms of God. And every time you felt too weary to continue, grace appeared and carried you further than your strength could take you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? Beloved, listen carefully. The reason the attacks against your mind have been so violent is because the enemy knows the crown on your head is real. He fights hardest at the edge of breakthrough. He strikes most fiercely when he senses you are about to rise. That is why the battles have been heavier lately. That is why the warfare feels personal. It is not random, it is strategic. But the strategy of darkness cannot undo the strategy of heaven. And here is what you must do right now. Take a stand in your spirit. Refuse to surrender your light. Refuse to shrink back. Refuse to believe the lies that say you are too broken, too late, too unworthy. Every scar you carry is proof you are still here. And if you are still here, you are still chosen. Now, I want you to participate in a prophetic act. Simple but powerful. Go to the comments and write, "I stand unshaken." Just 3 words. Why? Because when you declare it publicly, you are not only testifying to yourself, you are announcing to heaven and hell alike that you refuse to bow to fear. You are saying, "My spirit cannot be silenced. My light cannot be buried. My crown cannot be stolen." It is more than text. It is a declaration of war against the lies that once chained you. Think about it when you comment those words. You are stepping into alignment with the scripture you just heard. David said, "The Lord is his stronghold." That means no matter how fierce the storm, you cannot be toppled. Your footing is secure. Your spirit is anchored. Your destiny cannot be erased. Chosen one. Let this sink deep. Your survival has not been pointless. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every lonely valley, it has all been shaping a warrior who cannot be silenced. You are being raised as a testimony, a walking banner of God's strength. And those who doubted you, those who underestimated you, those who dismissed you, they will have no choice but to witness your rising. The fire inside you has grown through adversity. The courage inside you has been sharpened by trial. And the authority you carry is not man-made. It was forged in the secret place where only God saw your tears. That is why, when you speak, atmospheres shift. That is why, when you walk in, heaviness breaks. That is why you are here, chosen not for comfort, but for impact. Beloved, hear this clearly. You are not defined by battles, you are defined by victories. The fact that you are still standing after everything means you already carry triumph. The surprise the enemy never expected is that the very storms meant to drown you only taught you how to walk on water. You are not fragile. You are unshaken. So rise now. Lift your head. Walk with the boldness of one who knows their identity. The attacks cannot stop you. The doubts cannot bind you. The opinions of people cannot define you. Only God's seal does. And his seal says, chosen, crowned, unstoppable. Do not delay. Type your declaration. Claim your ground. Let every unseen watcher know you are the one who rises. Chosen one. There comes a moment when the weight of destiny presses so heavily against your shoulders that you wonder if you can continue. You feel stretched beyond your limit, as if the very fibers of your soul are being pulled apart. This is not a sign of weakness. It is the mark of transition. What you are experiencing is not the end. It is the breaking point before the breakthrough. Every birth requires labor, and every destiny requires pressure. You may look at your life right now and see contradictions, promises spoken over you but not yet fulfilled, dreams stirring inside but not yet visible, strength running thin even as hope refuses to die. It is in these contradictions that heaven does its greatest work. The place where you feel undone is the very place where God is weaving completion. You have asked why the struggle intensified when you decided to walk in obedience. You thought saying yes would make the path smoother. But instead, the warfare increased. Understand this. Obedience always awakens resistance. Light does not enter darkness quietly. When you took your stand, hell took notice. But the resistance is proof of progress. If you were still sitting in silence, if you were still running from your calling, the opposition would have no reason to rise. Chosen one. Pay attention. Pressure is not punishment. The heat you feel is the furnace that forges gold. The stretching you endure is enlarging your capacity for the glory that is about to rest on you. Do not despise this season of breaking, because the breaking is making you. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, still echo today. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. You see, the enemy wants you to confuse pressure with abandonment. He whispers that God has left you, that the silence is evidence you are forgotten. But the truth is the opposite. Silence is not absence. It is preparation. When a teacher is silent during a test, it does not mean the teacher has left the room. It means the student is being given the chance to prove what has already been imparted. In the same way, God's silence is a test of trust. He is not absent. He is watching to see if you will stand firm, even when the voice seems faint. And this is where destiny is truly sealed, not when everything feels easy, but when you choose to hold faith in the middle of fire. Heaven crowns those who endure. The testimony of your life will not be that you never felt weak, but that in your weakness, God's strength carried you. Beloved, let your heart rest in this. You are not being crushed. You are being refined. You are not being destroyed. You are being purified. What feels like breaking is actually shaping. Every fragment of your heart is being molded into a vessel fit for glory. When gold is placed in fire, impurities rise to the surface. In the same way, this season has revealed hidden doubts, fears, and wounds inside you. Do not despise the exposure. It is the evidence that you are becoming pure. God is burning away what cannot remain, so that only His light will shine through you. Chosen one, do not give up now. You are closer than you realize. The pressure you feel is the final push before release. Imagine a seed breaking in the soil. From the outside, it looks like destruction. The shell cracks. The form it once knew is gone. But in truth, the breaking is birth. What was hidden within is now free to grow. That is what is happening to you. Your breaking is not an end. It is a beginning. The shell of your old self, your old limitations, your old fears, cannot contain who you are becoming. You are outgrowing them, and they must split apart, so the fullness of your calling can emerge. It feels painful because you are leaving behind the familiar, but it is necessary, because the familiar cannot hold the future God has for you. Rest in this truth. You are not alone in your breaking. Heaven is with you. Angels stand guard around you. And even when no one else understands the depth of your struggle, God Himself counts every tear and whispers strength into your soul. He has not left you. He is nearer now than ever. So endure this moment with courage. Trust that the hand shaping you knows exactly what He is doing. Your story is not collapsing, it is being completed. And soon, very soon, the glory that is being prepared for you will make every hardship seem small in comparison. Hold steady. Chosen one, you are at the breaking point of destiny, but beyond the breaking lies the birth of your rising. Chosen one, There is something in you that terrifies the shadows. Have you ever wondered why certain people resisted you before they even knew you? Why certain atmospheres grew tense the moment you entered? It is not because of what you have done, it is because of what you carry. Your very presence unsettles darkness. Your spirit disrupts what is unclean. You do not even have to speak. The light in you announces itself before a word leaves your lips. This is why the battles intensified around you. Light and darkness cannot occupy the same space in silence. One always drives the other away. And the light in you is not dim. It is not fragile. It is a roaring flame that causes shadows to tremble. Even when you feel small, even when you doubt your worth. The unseen realm knows exactly who you are. You are marked. You are crowned. You are chosen. The Spirit declared long ago through the Apostle in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." This means your fight was never truly with people. Those who mocked you, betrayed you, or dismissed you were simply pawns in a larger battle. What was really trembling was the unseen darkness, afraid of what you would become if you ever recognized your authority. And now, beloved, you are awakening to it. You are beginning to understand. You are not weak. You are a warrior clothed in light. Think of it like this. A lighthouse does not need to chase ships. It simply stands tall, burning, unmovable, and yet the seas respond. Darkness trembles. Ships that would have been lost find their direction. That is you. You are a lighthouse in a storm. You do not need to prove your worth to those who cannot see. You simply need to remain lit. And everything around you will be forced to acknowledge the fire inside you. And because this flame is not just for you, I must pause here and speak plainly. Beloved chosen one, if this word resonates with you, I invite you to do something that keeps this flame reaching others. Like this message, not for vanity, but because every click becomes a ripple that pushes light into more dark places. Share it not to boast, but because someone in your circle may be silently crying out for a word they have not had the courage to speak. Subscribe, not because of numbers, but because staying connected ensures that the stream of oil continues to flow into your spirit. And if you feel led, if your heart stirs with gratitude, and you desire to strengthen this beacon so it can shine further, consider sowing a seed through donation, not as payment, but as partnership. Imagine your gift as oil poured into the lamp of this lighthouse. Without oil, the flame dims. With oil, the light stretches farther across the seas, reaching souls who are drifting in shadows. Every seed, no matter how small, becomes part of the testimony of light piercing darkness. Do you see it now? You are not merely a listener, you are part of a movement. Each act of support, whether a like, a share, a subscription, or a seed sown, is like adding your voice to the chorus, declaring, "Light will not be silenced." Together, we hold the flame higher. Together, we scatter the shadows. Chosen one, take courage. Do not underestimate what you carry. When you walk into rooms and the atmosphere shifts, when resistance rises without reason, do not shrink back. It is not a sign that you do not belong, it is proof that you do. The light in you is recognized, even when unspoken. And if ever you feel the weight of this calling pressing hard against you, remember, you are not standing alone. This very community is proof that others are awakening too. We are scattered lighthouses, shining in different places, but united by the same flame. Every action you take to strengthen this light ensures that no one drifts unseen. No one is left in despair. No one walks alone in the dark. Beloved, you have spent too long doubting yourself. You have asked, "Why me? Why so much resistance?" Now you know, because you carry what terrifies the shadows. And every time you choose to remain lit, every time you refuse to bow to fear, you declare victory. Stand tall, chosen one. Let your flame burn bright. Partner with the light in every way you can. And watch how the ripple multiplies beyond what you can see. You are not just a receiver of this word, you are a keeper of the flame. Chosen one. The moment of surrender is the doorway to surprise. You have carried so much, struggled with questions that seemed endless, and fought with choices that tore at your heart. Again and again, you have asked, when will the breakthrough come? When will the promise arrive? And the answer, whispered from eternity, is this: the blessing is hidden inside obedience. The world teaches delay. It tells you to wait for perfect conditions, to hold back until fear is gone, to hesitate until everything feels safe. But heaven's way is different. Heaven says, step even while trembling. Move even when the road is unclear. Obey even when logic cannot see the outcome. The miracle does not precede obedience, it follows it. Beloved, consider the stories written before us. Again and again, victory was unlocked, not when people felt ready, but when they chose to trust God in their unprepared state. Abraham left his homeland without knowing the destination. Moses stretched out his staff while the sea still raged. Peter stepped onto water while waves still roared. The act of obedience cracked open the impossible, releasing heaven's surprise into earth. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Samuel. Chapter 15, verse 22. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Oh, quote, these words strike like lightning across centuries. Sacrifice can look impressive to others, but obedience moves the heart of God. Obedience may not always be glamorous, but it unlocks what sacrifice alone never could. Your surrender is the key, and the moment you use it, doors swing wide that you did not even know existed. You have been waiting for something dramatic, something outside yourself to shift. But listen closely. The shift begins the moment you decide to obey. It could be a small step, a quiet choice, an unseen decision that no one else celebrates but heaven sees. Heaven counts it as the moment of activation. The angels move not when you think about it, but when you act in it. Think of a seed in the hand. It looks lifeless. On the shelf, it holds potential, but remains dormant. Only when it is surrendered to the soil, buried where no one can see, does its hidden power emerge. That is obedience. It feels like loss, like letting go, like burial. But in reality, it is the unlocking of life. And once the soil has done its work, what springs forth is greater than what was sown. Beloved, chosen one, do not fear surrender. Do not cling to what God is asking you to release. You cannot outgive him. Whatever you place in his hands multiplies beyond imagination. The surprise waiting for you is not behind the door of striving, but behind the door of obedience. This is your confirmation. You are not hearing this by chance. Heaven has aligned this very moment to remind you, do not delay. Your obedience today sets in motion blessings you cannot yet see. Do not wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. What God wants to unlock in you is tied to the yes you give Him now. And here, beloved, I invite you into a prophetic act of agreement. Go to the comments and type the number 707. Why this number? Because it symbolizes both completion and new beginnings, a cycle ending and another divinely starting. When you type 707, you are declaring, I choose obedience. I choose surrender. I choose the surprise of heaven over the safety of delay. Do not underestimate this act. It may seem small, but faith has always been revealed in simple steps. Noah built an ark, plank by plank. The widow poured oil, jar by jar. Peter cast a net. One more time. Each act seemed ordinary, yet carried extraordinary impact. Your comment is more than text. It is a declaration in the spiritual realm that you align with heaven's timing. And remember this, obedience rarely feels convenient. It often costs comfort. It often demands faith that looks foolish to the world. But it always carries the reward of divine release. What you sow in obedience today will become a harvest that generations after you will eat from. You are not just choosing for yourself. You are unlocking blessing for those who will come after you. So, chosen one, take courage. Heaven is not asking you for perfection. It is asking for your yes. That is all. And in that yes is hidden the greatest surprise you could imagine. Lift your eyes and believe it. Doors are waiting to open. Chains are ready to break. Promises are about to manifest. All creation is leaning in, waiting for the moment you step fully into obedience. Do not hold back any longer. Say yes. Walk forward. Type your prophetic number as a sign of faith, and watch as heaven floods your life with the surprises long prepared for you. Chosen one. The world has tried to convince you that what was taken from you is gone forever. People mocked you. Doors closed against you. Opportunities slipped through your hands. And for a long time, you carried the ache of loss like a hidden wound. But hear this clearly. Nothing surrendered in pain will remain lost in God's kingdom. What was denied, stolen, or withheld is not gone. It is being prepared to return. Multiplied. The path of the chosen is often marked by rejection. You have felt the sting of being pushed aside, not because you lacked value, but because heaven was writing a different story for you. What others celebrated was withheld from you because it was too small for the calling resting on your shoulders. Where others ran ahead, you were asked to wait, not as punishment, but because the inheritance set aside for you was greater than what you could have reached by your own strength. This is why jealousy has sometimes risen against you. People sensed something on your life even before you did. They may not have had words for it, but they felt the weight of favor and tried to push you away from it. Do not let bitterness take root. Their rejection was part of your redirection. Had they embraced you fully, you may have settled for less than the fullness God prepared. According to what is revealed in the book of Job, chapter 42, verse 10, after Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. Endo, this is a promise written in the blood of suffering. Restoration is coming. and it comes with multiplication. Job's story is not just about survival, it is about the return of everything lost, doubled. And in the same way, your story will not end with empty hands. The seasons where you wept will be exchanged for seasons where you gather. The years that felt wasted will be redeemed with fruit beyond counting. Chosen one. Understand this. Rejection qualifies you for inheritance. While others scramble for recognition, heaven has been preparing crowns unseen. While others fought for temporary rewards, you were being trained for eternal treasure. Your quiet obedience, your unseen tears, your willingness to keep walking when no one cheered. These are the investments that heaven multiplies. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison, yet none of those losses erased the dream planted in him. Every rejection was only a step toward the throne. The very people who pushed him away were later forced to bow before him. Why? Because inheritance is never stolen, it is delayed until the appointed time. This is the pattern of the chosen. You lose what others prize, only to gain what they could never imagine. You are stripped of temporary comforts, only to be clothed in lasting glory. You walk through valleys of emptiness, only to emerge with treasures that cannot be taken. Beloved, do not despise what you lost. Do not weep as if your story ended in those moments. Heaven has kept careful record of every sorrow. Nothing slipped unnoticed. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every closed door is counted. And for each, there is a promise of restoration. Not a return in equal measure, but a return overflowing. Your inheritance is not simply material. It is deeper. Peace where there was torment, joy where there was mourning, wisdom where there was confusion, influence where there was silence, and yes, even resources where there was lack. All of it multiplied. All of it returned in the season of unveiling. Chosen one, prepare your heart. The days of sitting in ashes are ending. You will not remain in the posture of the rejected. You are stepping into the posture of the restored, where you once asked, "Why was I denied?" You will soon declare, "Now I see why I was preserved." This is why bitterness cannot be your companion. If you cling to anger at those who hurt you, you will miss the sweetness of restoration. Release them, bless them, pray for them, just as Job prayed for his friends, and only then saw his fortunes restored. So too must you rise above resentment. Forgiveness is the doorway to inheritance. Beloved, your hands will not remain empty. The inheritance marked with your name is returning, and it will come suddenly, as if overnight. What was mocked will become miraculous. What was stolen will be multiplied. What was withheld will be poured out without measure. You are not forgotten, you are remembered. You are not bypassed, you are chosen. And your inheritance is on its way. Hold this truth tightly. Let it be your anchor when doubts rise. Everything you lost was seed, and every seed planted in tears will return as a harvest of joy. Chosen one. There are doors in this world that no human hand can open. You have knocked. You have tried. You have even exhausted yourself pushing against barriers that would not move. And yet, what would not yield to your strength will swing open with ease when touched by the keys placed in your spirit. These keys are not made of iron or wood. They are formed from obedience, faith, and the authority of your calling. Understand this: you are not left helpless. Heaven has entrusted you with spiritual access that others cannot replicate. That is why you have often felt like an outsider. Certain paths refuse to open to you because they were never meant to. Instead, God reserved doors, crafted uniquely for your fingerprints. Only you carry the combination. Only you were trusted with the assignment that requires them. These doors are not ordinary. They are thresholds to destiny, moments where heaven and earth collide. To stand before one is to feel the weight of eternity pressing against your heart. And when the moment comes, no force of darkness, no resistance from men, no delay from circumstance can prevent the opening, because when God hands you the key, the door must respond. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, second letter, chapter 2, verse 12. Now when I went to Troas to preach the gospel of Christ, and found that the Lord had opened a door for me. Notice this truth. Paul did not open the door himself. He simply found it already open. The hand of God had gone before him. In the same way, doors are being prepared for you right now. You may not see the hinges turning, but they are. You may not hear the locks shifting, but they are. What looks like silence is preparation. What feels like delay is divine alignment. Beloved, your keys are spiritual. Prayer sharpens them. Obedience polishes them. Faith puts them to use. And once a door opens, it is not just for you, it becomes a passage for others. The places you enter will not remain unchanged. When you walk through, you carry light that transforms the atmosphere. You bring access to those who could not enter on their own. Think of Peter in prison, bound by chains, surrounded by guards, locked behind iron gates, and yet, when the angel came, every barrier fell away. Chains dropped, doors opened, and Peter walked out freely. What no human effort could achieve, heaven accomplished in a moment. The same power works in your life. You are not defined by the locks placed around you. You are defined by the keys heaven has entrusted to you. Some doors you tried to open in the past remained closed. Not because you were unworthy, but because the timing was not right. A key used too early will not turn the lock. But when the appointed time comes, the same key will slip in easily, and the door will swing wide without resistance. That is what you are approaching the season of divine unlocking. Chosen one, do not envy the paths of others. Their doors are not your doors, and their keys are not your keys. Some may run ahead and seem to prosper, but their access cannot replace yours. The inheritance written in your name is waiting behind doors, crafted specifically for you. And when you step through, you will understand why the wait was necessary. Hold the keys with reverence. They are not toys, not ornaments, not decoration. They are sacred trusts. Use them wisely. Walk boldly through the doors heaven opens. But do not force entry where the Spirit has not yet prepared the way. Discernment is as important as courage. To rush into a door before its time is to step into battles unassigned. To wait for the Spirit's signal is to walk under divine covering. Beloved, you will find that some doors look small, almost insignificant, yet lead to vast realms of influence. Others may appear grand, but behind them lies emptiness. That is why your eyes must remain fixed on the one who holds the master plan. He alone knows which door is right, and he alone provides the key. Trust this. What belongs to you cannot remain shut forever, no matter how strong the lock, no matter how long the delay. When heaven declares it is time, the door must open, and when it does, you will not need to strive or struggle. You will walk through with peace, carrying the authority of one who was always meant to enter. So, chosen one, hold fast to your keys, guard them, use them, and prepare your spirit for the sound of locks turning, for soon you will stand before doors that others could not touch, and you will find them swinging open at your arrival. Chosen one, the war over your life has never been about the small details. It has always been about your throne, your crown, your destiny. The enemy knew if you ever discovered who you are, if you ever realized the authority already written into your name, you would rise and claim your inheritance. That is why the fight has been so fierce. It was never random. It has always been about your crown. Every whisper of doubt, every storm of fear, every shadow of shame has circled the same target, your identity. If the enemy could convince you that you were unworthy, then he could keep you from reaching for your crown. But beloved, the truth is now revealed. You are already marked for kingship. You are not waiting to be chosen. You have already been chosen. The ancient words recorded in the second letter of Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, remind us, "Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to all who longed." This crown is not a symbol of vanity. It is not made of gold that tarnishes or jewels that fade. It is the sign of victory, the seal of destiny, the visible mark of one who has endured and overcome, and you, chosen one, are called to wear it. Think about it. Kings do not beg for approval. Queens do not apologize for their crowns. Authority is not something they chase. It is something they carry. You too must rise into this reality. The storms you have endured were not proof of weakness. They were training for the weight of your crown. The heaviness you feel at times is not oppression. It is the mantle of rulership settling on your spirit. But a crown must be claimed. It is offered, yes, but it is not forced upon you. You must take your stand, lift your head, and step forward to wear what already belongs to you. This is why the battle in your mind has been so intense. The enemy cannot steal your crown, but he can convince you to lay it down. Chosen one, let this moment be the breaking of that lie. You are not too broken, not too late, not too small. You are crowned. You are chosen. You are seated in heavenly places, even now. The crown is not a dream of tomorrow. It is the reality of today. Imagine standing in a courtroom where accusations are hurled against you. The voices shout. The evidence piles up. The weight of guilt presses in. And then, in the silence, the judge himself rises, places a crown on your head, and declares you righteous. That is your story. That is your reality. No accusation. No lie. No past mistake can erase what heaven has already decreed. Beloved, I want you to take a step of faith right now. Go into the comments and write, "My crown stays." Just 3 words. Simple, but powerful. Why? Because when you write it, you are sealing the truth in your spirit. You are announcing to heaven and to hell alike that you refuse to surrender what God has given. You are saying, "My mistakes do not cancel it. My trials do not disqualify it. My crown remains. Because my identity is sealed by God Himself. This act is not trivial. It is an alignment. When you type those words, you shift the battle from your weakness to God's promise. You stop fighting for your worth and start resting in the worth He already declared over you. And in that shift, peace floods your heart. Because you realize the fight is not about earning the crown, it is about keeping faith to wear it. Chosen one, never forget, crowns are not given to the strongest, but to the faithful. You may have stumbled, but you kept walking. You may have wept, but you did not quit. You may have doubted, but you never abandoned hope. That is why the crown is yours. Because in all things, you held to the one who held you. Lift your head now. You are not meant to shuffle through life as if you are defeated. You are meant to walk as royalty. You carry authority in your words, in your presence, in your prayers. When you step into a room, loosen. When you speak truth, lies scatter. When you worship, darkness trembles. This is the life of the crowned one. Beloved, hold this truth close. Your crown cannot be stolen, only surrendered. Guard it. Cherish it. Wear it with boldness. It is both your weapon and your testimony. And as you move forward, let every step remind you that you are not an orphan wandering aimlessly. You are a crowned heir walking in divine destiny. Chosen one. There are moments in your life that felt like detours. Paths you thought would lead somewhere suddenly ended in silence. Doors you prayed for slammed shut. Opportunities you longed for slipped away. At times, you questioned yourself. Did I miss it? Did I fail? Was I left behind? But heaven whispers now, no, you were not lost. You were rerouted. What you thought were dead ends were actually divine redirections, guiding you toward glory you could not yet see. It is easy to confuse delay with denial. It is natural to assume a closed door means rejection. But chosen ones live by a different truth. When heaven closes a door, it is because something greater is ahead. The hand of God is not blocking you out, it is guiding you in. The path may twist, but the destination remains secure. We find in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him. This is the key. Beloved, your understanding cannot carry the weight of destiny. If you measure your life only by logic, you will misread the signs. But when you surrender to the one who sees the end from the beginning, you realize every twist was calculated, every delay intentional, every detour divine. Think of a river. It does not run in a straight line. It bends around rocks, curves through valleys, carves new channels through soil. And yet, no matter how winding, the river always reaches the sea. That is your journey. The bends do not mean you are off course. They mean you are being shaped to flow exactly where heaven intends. Beloved, chosen one, pause for a moment. Look back at the seasons you thought would destroy you. Do you see now how they redirected you? The heartbreak that humbled you, the rejection that drove you deeper into prayer, the silence that trained your ears to hear God more clearly. All of it was preparation. You are not the same person you were before those detours. You are wiser, stronger, sharper, and now you carry depth that cannot be imitated. Because of this, I want to speak plainly from my heart. If these words are watering your soul, if you feel the Spirit reminding you that your path has always been guided, then help me keep pouring this oil, like this message, so it shines brighter, reaching others who may be questioning their own detours. Share it, not as a routine click, but as a gift. Someone on your timeline may be standing in silence, wondering if they are forgotten. Subscribing is not about a number, it is about staying connected, so this stream of living words continues to meet you at each step. And if you feel led deeper, consider sowing a seed, even small, through donation. Picture it as placing oil into a lamp. Every drop of oil strengthens the flame, allowing this light to stretch further into places you may never walk. Perhaps your seed becomes the oil that lights up a soul on the other side of the world. Someone who thought their detour was the end. You are not just supporting, you are partnering in carrying light into darkness. Chosen one. You are part of this river. Each like, each share, each seed is another stream added, making the river stronger, wider, unstoppable. Together, we carve channels of hope where despair once ruled. Together, we create pathways where others will discover that their detours were not failures, but holy reroutings into destiny. Never forget this. The enemy tried to use closed doors to make you bitter. He whispered that God had abandoned you. But now, you see the truth. The very doors that closed were the ones that protected you from disaster. If you had forced them open, you would have walked into traps, pain, or delay. Heaven's refusal was heaven's rescue. So, walk forward with peace. Trust the bends. Trust the detours. Trust the hand that guides unseen. For soon you will look back and realize the path was never crooked. It was perfectly designed to lead you into glory. Beloved, hold this image. You are a traveler climbing a mountain. The path winds back and forth, sometimes even leading downward, but every step is taking you higher, closer to the summit. When you reach the top, the view will make sense of every twist, and you will see nothing was wasted, nothing was random, nothing was lost. Your destiny is certain, your steps are ordered, and your detours are only evidence that heaven has always been leading you home. Chosen one, the silence that once swallowed your voice is coming to an end. There was a time when you spoke and no one listened, when you poured out and no one received, when the words in your heart seemed too heavy to release. You questioned whether you were meant to remain hidden forever, carrying visions no one could understand. But heaven says now, your influence is about to multiply. It will not happen through striving. It will not come by chasing attention or forcing recognition. Influence born of heaven flows differently. It rises like fragrance, spreading in directions the wind chooses. What you carry is not man-made. It is not a talent borrowed from culture or a skill purchased through practice. It is a deposit of the Spirit, and deposits of the Spirit cannot remain silent forever. They overflow. Think of a well. When first dug, it looks like an empty hole. Days pass, and it appears as if nothing will come. But deep beneath the surface, unseen waters are gathering, and when the time is right, the well begins to fill, overflowing into vessels around it. That is you. For years, you have been dug deep, your prayers, your tears, your obedience forming a reservoir unseen by men. And now the time has come for overflow. The Apostle Paul writes in the book of Acts, chapter 18, verse 9, "Do not be afraid, keep on speaking. Do not be silent." This command echoes across centuries, reaching your ears now. You are not called to silence. You are not called to shrink back. Your voice carries weight, not because it is loud, but because it is marked by the Spirit. When you speak, it pierces through noise. When you act, it ripples beyond what you see. Beloved, you once thought your life was small, limited to the circles that misunderstood or dismissed you. But heaven has been enlarging your territory quietly, preparing platforms you cannot yet imagine. Influence is not measured in numbers, it is measured in impact. A single sentence from your lips, carried on the wind of the Spirit, can change the trajectory of a life. A simple act of kindness can echo across generations. A prayer whispered in secret can alter the destiny of nations. Do not underestimate the power of what rests in you. Multiplication has always been God's design. 5 loaves and 2 fish fed thousands. A small mustard seed grew into a tree that sheltered many. In the same way, what seems small in your hands will be multiplied in His. You have felt invisible, but invisibility was never permanent. It was protection until the moment of release. Chosen one. Influence is not about spotlight, it is about stewardship. Can you carry the weight of glory without seeking applause? Can you release the word without demanding recognition? Can you serve without expectation of reward? These are the tests you have already passed, often without knowing. That is why heaven can now trust you with more. And as the river of your influence flows, it will not only quench your thirst, but water many fields. Your family will be impacted. Strangers will be impacted. Even those who once doubted you will taste the fruit of your obedience. The reach of your life will extend farther than your eyes can see. Because influence birthed in heaven never dies, it multiplies beyond generations. Remember this, Moses never entered the promised land, yet his obedience shaped a nation. David's psalms were written in caves, but they are still sung across the earth. Paul wrote letters from prison, yet they have circled the world for centuries. What you release in obedience will ripple long after your lifetime. You are part of that same story. Your voice will not be buried with you. It will echo, multiply, and carry light into places you may never walk. So take courage. Do not despise your beginnings. Do not measure your influence by present visibility. A seed underground looks lifeless, yet carries forests within it. In the same way, your unseen faithfulness has already birthed a harvest waiting to break forth. You may not recognize its full reach yet, but heaven sees it clearly. Chosen one, prepare your spirit. Your influence will expand not for your glory, but for His. You are a vessel chosen to carry living water, and when living water flows, it cannot be contained. Step forward boldly, for the silence is ending. Your voice will thunder, your impact will ripple, and your legacy will shine. Chosen one. There are rhythms woven into creation, appointed times and seasons hidden within the flow of life. Just as the sun rises and sets without fail, just as tides move with the pull of the moon, so too does heaven align moments in your life with divine precision. What may feel like coincidence is often synchronization. You are walking in steps that were ordered long before you took your first breath. This is why some doors suddenly swing open, while others remain shut despite your effort. It is why some connections flow effortlessly, while others crumble no matter how much you try to hold them. Heaven has a calendar, and though you do not see every page, you are being guided by it. The challenge is not to control the timing, but to trust it. The prophet reminds us in Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." These words breathe peace into restless hearts. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be in this season. Even if it feels slow, even if it looks uncertain, the timing of God is perfect. And when the appointed moment arrives, what resisted you will suddenly yield. What was hidden will suddenly appear. What seemed delayed will arrive right on time. Think of the caterpillar inside its cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. Yet within, transformation is taking place at the pace of heaven. If someone tears the cocoon too soon, the wings will not form. But if the process is trusted, in the right moment, the butterfly emerges in strength. So it is with you. The cocoon seasons of your life may feel silent, but they are shaping your wings. Beloved, your alignment with divine timing requires trust. You cannot rush what is sacred. You cannot demand what has not yet matured. But you also cannot lose what was written for you. Destiny does not miss its appointment. The vision may tarry, but it will not fail. This is why heaven stirs you now into prophetic agreement. As a sign of faith, I invite you to go into the comments and write the number 444. Why 444? Because it is a symbol of alignment, of stability, of heaven's order intersecting with earth's reality. It declares, I trust the timing. I step into alignment. I wait with faith, not fear. Do not underestimate this act. Typing that number is not superstition, it is declaration. It is your spirit saying, I surrender my timeline for His timeline. It is your faith declaring, I believe every season has purpose, even when I do not see it yet. And as you write it, you break agreement with impatience, stepping instead into peace. Beloved, consider this. Impatience is the enemy's trap. He whispers that you are too late, that others are ahead, that your moment has passed. But heaven's clock does not run by earthly competition. The lane you walk is yours alone, and the timing of your unveiling is unique. No one can steal it. No one can outrun it. What is marked for you will wait until you are ready. Think of Sarah, who laughed at the idea of a child in her old age. Yet, at the appointed time, Isaac was born. Think of Joseph, who languished in prison for years, only to be lifted suddenly to the throne in one day. Think of Esther, hidden in obscurity until her voice was needed for a nation. Each of them proves the same truth. When the time arrives, heaven moves swiftly. Chosen one, your waiting has not been wasted. Every season has deposited something within you. Patience, resilience, discernment, humility, all have been cultivated in the hidden years. And soon, when the page turns, you will see why the waiting was necessary. The maturity you carry now will guard you from misusing the blessings to come. So, breathe deeply. Release the pressure of comparison. Trust that heaven has not forgotten your address. You are aligned with a rhythm far greater than what you see on the surface. And as you step in faith, even through something as simple as writing your prophetic number, you are declaring, "I trust the author of my story more than my own understanding." Chosen one. The timing is perfect. The season is set. The alignment is here. Walk forward with peace, for you are in step with heaven's clock. Chosen one. You have felt the weight pressing on your shoulders, and at times it seemed unbearable. You have wondered if it was punishment, as though the heavens had turned against you. But hear this truth now. What you are carrying is not condemnation, it is glory. The pressure you feel is not meant to crush you, it is meant to shape you into the vessel capable of carrying the mantle of destiny. Glory is heavy. It is not a feather that drifts lightly through the air, it is a stone that settles deeply into the foundation of your soul. To bear it is to be stretched, refined, strengthened. This is why your life has felt more intense than others. You were not created for shallow waters. You were crafted to walk with depth, to carry what few are entrusted to hold. The Apostle writes in 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Notice this. Troubles are not meaningless. They are not wasted energy or random pain. They are achieving something, working within you, producing a weight of glory that will last forever. The pain is temporary, the glory is eternal. And when weighed side by side, the eternal always outweighs the temporary. Beloved, picture a sculptor chiseling stone. Each strike seems harsh, each blow unnecessary to the casual observer. Yet the sculptor sees what others cannot, the figure hidden within the rock. Every strike removes what does not belong. Every cut reveals what was always there. That is what the weight has been doing in you. It has been shaping you into the image heaven saw from the beginning. This is why your life has not been easy. The greater the glory, the greater the preparation. The heavier the mantle, the deeper the refining. Ordinary lives cannot compare to the path of the chosen, for you are not being shaped for ordinary purposes. You are being formed into a vessel that can carry light into dark places without breaking. At times you asked, "Why so much? Why me?" And heaven's reply is gentle yet firm, "Because you can bear it." You were entrusted with this weight precisely because heaven knew it would not destroy you, it would reveal you. The cracks in your soul became places for light to shine through. The tears you shed watered the soil of your future. The nights you thought were endless became the training ground for dawn. Beloved, the weight of glory also explains why you could not remain in certain places or relationships. Some people were never meant to carry what you carry. Some environments could not sustain the magnitude of your calling. To remain there would have been to suffocate your destiny. The separation was painful, but necessary. Glory requires space. Glory requires alignment. Think of the Ark of the Covenant. It was sacred, heavy with presence, so much so that not everyone could touch it. Only those set apart could carry it, and even then, with reverence. In the same way, your life has been set apart to carry something holy. Not everyone can walk with you into this weight, and that is not rejection, it is selection. Chosen one. Let this truth steady you. The pressure you feel today is not a sign of failure, but of capacity. Vessels must be tested before they are filled. If a jar cracks under pressure, it cannot hold oil. But once proven strong, it becomes worthy to carry what is precious. You are that vessel. Every trial has tested your endurance. Every storm has revealed your strength. And because you still stand, you are ready to carry what others could not. Do not despise the heaviness. It is proof of the treasure within you. It is shaping your posture, teaching you humility, anchoring you deeply so that when glory comes, you will not be swept away by pride or fear. Others may see only the pressure, but heaven sees the preparation, and soon, very soon, the weight will shift. What once felt like a burden will become your badge. The heaviness that pressed you down will become the stability that holds you up. You will discover that the glory was not crushing you, it was crowning you. Beloved, carry this with honor. Wear it with reverence. And remember always, the weight you feel is not the end of you. It is the beginning of the unveiling. Glory rests on you, and it will not be taken away. Chosen one. Every calling requires separation. You may have felt it already, that slow, painful parting of ways. The drifting of people who once walked closely with you. At first, it seemed like loss. Friends turned distant. Family misunderstood. Relationships grew fragile. You asked yourself, what did I do wrong? Why am I left alone? But hear this now. Separation is not abandonment. It is preparation. To climb a mountain, you cannot carry every weight. Some companions can walk with you on the plains, but they cannot endure the thin air of higher altitudes. The higher you rise, the fewer can walk beside you. This is not cruelty, it is necessity. Destiny requires distance from what cannot survive at the summit. Separation is heaven's gentle surgery, cutting away attachments that would choke your growth. It may sting, but it preserves your breath for the climb. Some who left could not walk the narrow ridge with you. Their absence creates space for strength you will need. Do not mistake this pruning as loss. See it as holy preparation for the summit where only the chosen can stand. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 43, verse 18 and 19. Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? The past cannot hold the future. You cannot cling to yesterday while stepping into tomorrow. This is why certain ties have been loosened, why familiar paths feel foreign, why the people you leaned on no longer seem to fit. It is not rejection, it is reformation. Heaven is cutting away what no longer aligns, so that your hands are free to grasp the new thing. Beloved, separation often feels cruel in the moment. The heart aches. The silence is loud, and loneliness presses in. But in truth, it is the mercy of God. To remain entangled with those who do not share your calling would be to dilute your anointing. Oil mixed with water cannot ignite. Fire mixed with ashes cannot burn bright. For your light to shine fully, separation was inevitable. Consider Abraham, called to leave his homeland, his relatives, and his father's house. The promise of nations could not be birthed in the soil of his past. He had to walk into the unknown, carrying only obedience. Consider Jesus, who often withdrew from the crowds, even from his disciples, to be alone with the Father. Glory requires solitude. Intimacy requires quiet. Chosen one. The season of separation is not punishment, but promotion. God is trusting you to walk roads others cannot understand. You may long for company, but he longs for your undivided attention. When the crowd fades, his voice grows lewder. When familiar support is removed, his presence becomes your anchor. And though the road feels lonely, it is not empty. Heaven walks with you. Angels flank your steps. The Spirit whispers direction in the silence. You are not abandoned. You are being drawn closer to the one who called you. Let your heart rest in this. Those who left were not meant to carry your crown. Those who misunderstood were not assigned to your mantle. Those who resisted your growth were not entrusted with your destiny. Release them with peace. Bless them as they go, for holding on to them would have kept you tethered to ground you were never meant to remain on. The higher you climb, the lighter you must travel. Eagles soar not because they cling to the earth, but because they let go. You are that eagle, spreading wings that cannot be contained in cages of familiarity. And as you rise, you will discover new companions, those who breathe the same thin air, who understand the silence of heights, who walk with crowns of their own. Separation is a doorway, not a death. It is the crossing into greater intimacy, greater authority, greater clarity. And though it may sting, trust the process. The pruning of branches is what allows fruit to multiply. The cutting away of stone is what reveals the diamond. The parting of paths is what positions you for destiny. Chosen one. Let go of yesterday with courage. Do not mourn what could not remain. Do not chain yourself to what heaven has released. The new thing is springing forth even now, and your hands must be free to receive it. You are not being isolated, you are being elevated. Trust the separation, for it is heaven's way of making room for glory. Chosen one, you have walked through valleys where shadows tried to bury you. You have faced storms that seemed determined to silence you, and yet here you stand, not only alive, but rising. The truth is this: what was meant to destroy you has become the very evidence that you cannot be stopped. You are the living testimony of unstoppable rising. Enemies have watched your journey, expecting collapse. Some even celebrated too soon, believing the weight of life had crushed you for good. But like seeds buried in the soil, you were not destroyed, you were planted. And what is planted must rise again, stronger, deeper, higher than before. The earth itself testifies to this truth. Night always yields to morning. Winter always gives way to spring. And death itself cannot silence what God has breathed life into. The ancient words recorded in Micah, chapter 7, verse 8. Speak to you now. Do not gloat over me. My enemy, though I have fallen, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. Beloved, let this sink deep into your spirit. Falling was never failure. Sitting in darkness was never defeat. Both were stages in your rising. Moments designed to reveal the light of the Lord shining through you. And now, the very people who doubted you will have no choice but to witness your rising. Think of the phoenix, that mythical bird said to burn in flames, only to rise from its ashes, brighter and stronger. That image, though not born of Scripture, whispers a truth. Your spirit already knows you are not defined by what tried to end you. You are defined by the God who raises you. And because this rising is not just for you, I must pause here to speak plainly from the heart. If this word is feeding your soul, then help me extend the table so others may eat as well. Like this message, it is not about numbers, but about spreading light further. Like lanterns placed in many windows on a dark night. Share it not for recognition, but because someone scrolling silently in despair may stumble upon it and find hope. Subscribe not for statistics, but to remain connected. So the flow of encouragement continues like a steady stream, watering your journey. And if you feel stirred deeper, consider donating as an act of partnership. Think of it like adding oil to a lamp. Each drop ensures the flame burns longer, brighter, reaching places you yourself may never step. Your seed becomes light to a traveler wandering in darkness, a cup of water for a soul dying of thirst. Every offering, no matter the size, is like adding another stone to the altar of hope we are building together. Beloved, do you see the picture now? You are not just rising alone, you are part of a great chorus of rising voices. Each action of support, whether a like, a share, a subscription, or a seed, adds strength to this chorus. Together we declare, darkness will not have the last word. Together we stand as proof that even ashes cannot silence the fire God ignites. And now, I invite you to mark your rising with a declaration in the comments. Write these words, I rise now. Just 3 words, but they carry the thunder of your testimony. By typing them, you are not just joining a conversation, you are sealing your faith in action. You are proclaiming, my enemies do not define me, my falls do not bind me, my crown remains, and my rising begins now. This is more than digital text. It is an altar built with your own hands, a public witness that heaven has won the war over your life. Every comment becomes like a spark, and together they ignite into a fire that spreads hope to anyone who reads them. Beloved, chosen one, the days of mourning are giving way to days of dancing. The cloak of heaviness is being exchanged for garments of praise. The silence of shame is breaking into the sound of testimony, and your rising is not fragile, it is unstoppable. No chain can bind it. No enemy can halt it. No shadow can extinguish it. Stand tall. Lift your head. You are the proof that what was buried will bloom, that what was broken will be rebuilt, that what was mocked will be crowned. This is your season of rising, and nothing can take it from you. Chosen one, your life is not a solitary flame burning for a fleeting moment. It is a torch passed through time, a legacy of light meant to outlast you. Everything you have endured, the storms, the battles, the hidden tears, was never only about your survival. It was about those who would come after you, those tied to your obedience, those whose lives are being shaped by your choices even now. You may not always see it, but your influence reaches further than your eyes can measure. Every act of faith plants a seed in soil you may never walk upon. Every prayer whispered in secret becomes a covering for someone you may never meet. Every step of obedience paves a path for those following behind. This is the weight and wonder of legacy. Your life becomes a bridge across generations. The Word of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 9, Know therefore that the Lord, your God, is God. He is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations. Beloved, this is your assurance. What you carry will not die with you. The covenant of love extends beyond your lifetime. It touches children not yet born, families not yet formed, nations not yet awakened. The choices you make in faith ripple outward, shaping futures you cannot even imagine. Think of a tree planted by a stream. Its roots stretch deep into the earth, drinking water, unseen. Its branches rise high, offering shade. Its fruit falls, feeding those who come near. And long after the planter has gone, the tree continues to bear fruit. That is your life. You are not only growing for yourself, you are establishing shade, shelter, and sustenance for those who will one day rest beneath your branches. Chosen one. The enemy tried to convince you that your story was small, insignificant, contained within your own struggles. But heaven's perspective is larger. Heaven sees generations tied to your obedience. Heaven sees faces not yet born, who will be blessed because you chose to endure. Your prayers, your faith, your resilience, they are writing a legacy of light. And this legacy is not measured only in wealth or possessions. It is measured in wisdom, in faith, in courage. It is measured in the way your endurance becomes the testimony that gives strength to those who feel like quitting. It is measured in the way your rising inspires others to stand tall. Beloved, think of Abraham. His obedience was not for himself alone. It birthed nations. Think of Hannah, whose prayer for one child brought forth Samuel, a prophet who shaped Israel's history. Think of Paul, whose letters, written in prison, continue to guide millions centuries later. None of them saw the full reach of their legacy in their lifetimes. Neither will you, but the impact will echo long after you are gone. This is why the weight you carry has been so great. It was never just about you. You are a pioneer, cutting paths through wilderness so that others may walk freely. You are a builder, laying foundations so that others may rise higher. You are a torchbearer, igniting fires that will continue to burn in generations after you. Chosen one. Let this truth bring you peace. Nothing you have suffered has been wasted. Even your scars are seeds. They testify to those who come after you that survival is possible, that faith works, that God remains faithful. Your story will be the map that guides others home. And though you may sometimes feel invisible, the legacy of light you carry cannot remain hidden. Light always finds its way into darkness. Fire always spreads. The testimony you live will be told in ways you cannot predict, through words, through memories, through lives changed because you endured. Beloved, stand firm. Your obedience is a gift, not just to yourself, but to those yet to come. Your life is a torch, and the fire will not go out. Heaven is faithful, and the covenant of love you walk in will ripple outward for 1,000 generations. So lift your eyes beyond your present battles. See the horizon of legacy stretching before you. Know that your name is etched, not only in this moment, but in eternity. You are chosen not just for survival, you are chosen for inheritance, for impact, for legacy. And your light, once lit, will never be extinguished. Chosen one. This is the moment of unveiling. You have walked through shadows, endured storms, borne weight that would have crushed another, and yet, through it all, you have been preserved, not merely to survive, but to be crowned and commissioned. What rests upon you now is not only a promise fulfilled, it is a mantle of unstoppable favor, a seal of divine approval that no hand can remove. There is a reason your journey has been so intense. The crown you now receive is not ornamental, it is functional. It is not for display, but for dominion. It marks you as one who has been tested and proven, one who carries authority, not borrowed from men, but bestowed by heaven. To wear it is to step into alignment with who you always were in the eternal design of God. It was proclaimed in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take your crown. This word is your charge. The crown is yours, but it must be guarded, not out of fear, but out of reverence. For crowns are not stolen by force, they are surrendered by neglect, as long as you remain steadfast. No scheme, no lie. No opposition can take from you what God Himself has placed on your head. Beloved, a crown is more than a symbol. It is a commission. It calls you to walk differently, to think differently, to speak differently. It requires you to live not as one wandering aimlessly, but as one carrying responsibility for others. The crown says, you are no longer hidden, you are a light on display. You are no longer waiting, you are walking in destiny. Think of Esther. She did not seek the crown, yet it found her. And when it rested on her, it was not for luxury, but for purpose. Her position carried weight for her people. In the same way, your crown is not merely for your joy, it is for those whose freedom is tied to your rising. You are crowned not for isolation, but for influence. Chosen one. You have often felt unworthy of such responsibility. The memories of your flaws still echo. The scars of your past still whisper. But understand this, your crown is not placed on perfection, but on obedience. God does not crown those who never stumble. He crowns those who rise again, who cling to Him through the fire, who choose faith when fear would have been easier. And now, heaven calls you to walk boldly, for the seal of favor rests upon you. What once felt like resistance will now bow to the authority of the crown. What once mocked, you will now witness your rising. You will discover doors opening, not because you strive, but because the crown announces your arrival before you even knock. Beloved, this moment is holy. You are stepping into the fullness of what was always written for you. The nights of doubt were not wasted. They became the canvas for faith. The seasons of silence were not wasted. They became the soil for trust. The battles were not wasted. They became the proving ground for your authority. And now, every moment converges into this. You are crowned. You are commissioned. You are unstoppable. Carry this truth with humility. The crown is not a reason for arrogance, but for gratitude. It is not an excuse to boast, but a call to serve. The weight of favor demands compassion, patience, and wisdom. For true authority is not in ruling over others, but in lifting them. True greatness is not in being served, but in serving. And remember, beloved, your crown is not temporary. It is sealed in eternity. No shadow of death, no whisper of fear, no scheme of man can erase what God has decreed. Walk forward. Then, with the confidence of one marked forever, the world may not yet understand you, but heaven already celebrates you. The crown has settled, and your commissioning is complete. You are not who you once were. You are transformed, refined, established. You are God's chosen one, crowned with glory, commissioned with purpose, and unstoppable in favor. Step forth and live it fully. For this is who you have always been. Chosen one. As this journey draws to a close, pause and feel the weight of what has just been spoken over you. You are not an accident. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, marked, crowned, and commissioned. Every word released here was not by chance. It was a mirror, reminding you of the light already alive within you. But do not let this moment slip away like sand through your fingers. Let it settle. Let it root. Let it bloom. And if it has spoken to you, if you have felt the stirring of truth deep inside your soul, then do something to seal it. Like this message, not out of habit, but as a sign that you are agreeing with the light. Share it. Not for me, but because someone you know is standing on the edge of despair, waiting for a word only this could carry. Subscribe, so that these streams of life do not pass you by. Think of it as returning to the well each time you come back. There is fresh water, ready to refresh you. And if your heart feels stirred to give, to sow into the continuation of this light, consider donating. See it not as charity, but as oil poured into a lamp. Every seed keeps the flame burning, reaching further, lighting paths for souls who do not yet know they are chosen too. And now, in the comments, let your voice join the chorus. Write your own declaration of faith. Simple words, perhaps just one line, but let them carry your heart. For when you testify, heaven echoes back, and darkness trembles at the sound. You are chosen. You are rising. You are unstoppable. This is not the end. It is your beginning.